Okay, we're switched over. We're switched over. Um, make sure the gain is good. Let me see. We reacting now? Tap, tap, tap. Yep. All right, bet. Sorry about that, chat. um, just knocking out a few things real quick. I we're actually gonna have Jim come on and do some pre-market first. He should be in here. Um, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Should have him in here shortly. Um, yeah, he's gonna come in a little bit after 9. But let me go ahead and start running down a little bit of today's info. Um, so the way we're gonna do like super structured from now on. So it's not really randomized. You can know what info you're gonna expect. So it's gonna start with an overnight global rundown of everything that happened in the Asian market essentially, or during the Asian session. And then we're gonna touch on some U.S. futures, macro tonnage, and then slide over to the forex heat map, and then we're gonna go through some actual setups with y'all, and then look at a little bit of macro bank data, central bank data, ECB, BOJ, Fed policy news, things like that. Um, Anything really affecting our trades, and then any cross market influence. We're gonna touch on the crypto market a little bit, and then that that's really it. It's gonna take a while to get through, but that's my whole general umbrella of expertise. So um, that's why we have Jim and Kevin on the team, because they talk more about stocks. Well, Jim talks about stocks. Um, Kevin is touching on all the futures um, trades. Really, he's just more outright trading when he comes on. He comes on right after the bell, so right after 5 o'clock Eastern time. um so between 5 and 9, it might fluctuate 6:30, 8:30, maybe some nights, just depending on how the markets are looking. So look for the show to be back on with him during that time. And then every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning, I come in for the open, and then right after the open, I hand it off to Jim to go into the stocks and everything. So that's the structure, and that's how we're doing it for now. We are gonna bring on some more people later on, but that's what we're at for now. But to get into the Asian market. So most Asian currencies strengthen against a broadly weaker U.S. dollar, driven by strong expectations for a U.S. Federal Reserve interest rate cut next week. So, as you can see on the screen here, I've been in a Euro USD trade, and I just actually got in another position there. But you know, uh, everything against the U.S. dollar has been doing kind of well this week, um, fairly well this week. We're expecting that. If you guys watch the major market breakdowns that I drop on Sundays, then you were kind of prepared for that. But the U.S. dollar fell more in Asian trading last night, hovering near a 1 month low as investors increased bets on Fed easing. The Japanese yen pair fell as the USD JPY pair fell as that weakness happened, and amid renewed expectations that the Bank of Japan could raise interest rates as soon as this month. So that's got some heavy pressure on the USD JPY pair, and then the Indian rupee held steady around 90 per dollar after hitting a record low near 9.50 nine. I keep saying 90.50 earlier in the week. This followed the Reserve Bank of India (RBI) cutting its key repo rate by 25 basis points. Oof. Okay, well, so they're doing a similar move to what we're expecting the U.S. Federal Reserve to do. Um, so let me need all of that. Okay, on to U.S. futures and the tonnage. So I mean, I'm not gonna get too deep into it because it's not my realm. We like to leave that uh, um, for Kevin to touch on. But just to touch on how everything's been leading up through the Asian market into London, going into the open. S&P futures are up slightly, nearing a potential record high. Nasdaq 100 futures are leading the gains, continuing a strong run from the tech stocks, including Nvidia, um, OpenAI. Not the Dow Jones Industrial Averages are also in a positive territory, not the same exact all-time high territory, but positive. And then key drivers, same thing we just touched on. Interest rate cut by the Fed is very bullish for the stock market. If money becomes cheaper, investors you know, use more of it in the stocks. That's to put it as simple as can be. Um, Key PCE inflation data, the release of the delayed personal consumption expenditures price index, the Fed preferred inflation. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I can't speak this morning. The Fed's preferred inflation gauge at 10 a.m. So we should see that towards the end of when Jim is going to be you know wrapping up, closing out around that time. That's when that data is going to drop. So we should see probably we won't see too much extra volatility just because of that. But it is Friday, you know what I mean? And Fridays come with extra volatility. So risk appetite overall is pretty strong. I mean, money is flowing into risk assets. Bitcoin just rebounded off of you know, I think so this year's. I think that's a yearly low. Um, if I'm not mistaken. But it rebounded, and yeah, as you can see, S&P, Nasdaq, Dow going higher. Um, let's see here. Let's go over to the heat map. I'll share my tab so you guys can actually see that. Why is it? Yes. Switch account. There we go. Okay. Heat map today has Euro USD very bullish with a score of 11, and NZD USD a score of 9, EUR score of 9, AUD USD score of 8, EUR score of 7. I really just like to look at the top five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are. I mean, we're already looking at EUR USD, NZD USD. It's kind of redundant, really. Very similar movement to UR USD. But I do want to take a look at EURJPY because I think I was looking at a trade for EURJPY and it just kind of did not go good. Let's see. EURJPY. And actually, I can put this in the background, right? Um, but I mean, we'll look at all types of stuff. Fair chart. I thought I had a setup ready for y'all. We're ready to love it. I guess I wasn't looking at it. I thought I was. But I will say here, make sure I'm not plugging too much. I do that. I do that. Quite a few times. It happens to us too. Having perfection. It sounds like kind of spacey, not good. But we are on the higher end of my BBs there. That ain't too terrible though. Um, Kind of test in the middle off of a pretty clean close out of the bottom, which I always like for a touch of the middle after that. So I can at least see price doing that minimally. Let me just take a look at how much space is to that high. Yeah, nah, it's not a bad move. It's just, I mean, but the risk to reward isn't great right now. I would like for a pullback, definitely like a pullback, um, for some better risk to reward for this. um, Now, I want to let y'all know. So, what I do with the Edge Finder tool, I before I go on live, I go through and I look through like the data on the top few ones that I want to trade, kind of read through so I can understand it. I just I since I'm reading through all of that other data, I'd rather just give y'all the pure trading when I get to the trading, show y'all the heat map, and then get into it. You know, it's not like it's like complicated or anything like that. It's just I would rather not just continue to just blast you with an earful. You know what I mean? Um, just with it. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it in the comments. Click here. Yeah, that'll probably be a nice trade. That was cool right now. Yeah. Yeah. Just about 1 to 2. It's not like super crazy good, super crazy bad, or anything like that. Um, but this is like kind of these bands are really open right now, so I'm expecting a pullback. I'm expecting a pullback. I'm actually expecting EURUSD to pull back a little bit more as well. So if you're not in that already and you're looking to get in, risk. This is not financial advice, of course, but risk well, trade responsibly. Mm, okay. Hey, that's- Out to telling about this is the idea. Uh, hard I want to keep it um like buy limit, buy limit. Let me look over. Let me look left one more time. Oh yeah, no, buy limit. And if this area fails, then I'll just be out. I'll just be out. So breaks this low. I'm in there. I'm in there, or I'm out of there. Simple as that. Stop losses just be like in this area right below our entries. Mm, Cause it's been it's I mean it's had bullish catalyst for a while, like for a week now, over a week now, honestly. Like I've been looking at URGP um buys for like maybe 2 weeks. I got in here. It was like, ooh, yay. Then now we're in drawdown. So I mean, um, whether it's manipulation or just liquidity moving, either way, it's gonna go higher. Whether that be off of this level or moving to go what's this level? Buy again. I'll be out of the trade. I'll just I'll get in. I like ERG over like the next for bullish. Get it. Targeting first target. That's the right there is 7975, and then second target at 88353, and then I'll be just trailing but I will here. I'll show you something. We have our. If it would move out of the way so I could actually see down there. Not what I meant to do. But it's fine. It works. Let me make sure y'all can actually see that low on my. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Um, I didn't mean to make that second one. Meant to make it here. Um. So very slightly, and on the 30 minutes. So it's not like the strongest thing in the world, but we have divergence going on. And if you're unfamiliar with what divergence is, then Tap into the free course on the channel, and you can kind of understand um, why I use it and why it's a very good indicator of changing market conditions, whether that be pullbacks or like complete change of trend. It can be used in a myriad of ways. Hey Jim, you ready to get on? Oh yeah, I know you wanted to do some pre-market before the open, so I want to go ahead and let you get that in. Um, if you want, you can stick on because I do have a few things to get prepared for today. I have like a few meetings if you want to take over because I've gotten through quite a lot of the trade. So. All right, cool. Yeah. All right. All right, team. I love y'all. Make sure you're kind to somebody. I'm gonna catch you on the next one, and Jim is gonna come and take over.
Okay, guys. Morning. Happy Friday. Chilly in New York this morning, but not as bad as Vermont. So I'm kind of glad I'm not down up yonder, up there. Looking at right now, looking at Tesla, which is going to be one of my morning relative strength plays. Key to that is going out. Yeah, I just did. You got it. Really? Okay. Hang on. Uh, Full screen. You're there. Share screen. Here we go. Okay. Trying this again, guys. Are we there? Should be here. Share screen, yeah. Let's request they manage your studios. I was just granting access. Hang on. Asking me if I'm granting access. Okay. Give me a sec, guys. Sorry. Agree. Come on, boys and girls. Here we go. If, says I'm sharing. Am I sharing? You guys see it? Got it? Okay. Awesome. Yeah. 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 It wanted me to hit something there. So I hit it. All right. Cut us some slack, guys. We're working it. Okay. Uh, anyhow, Tesla this morning, like I said, went out well. Not a lot, not a heck of a lot of range though, so that's a concern for me. So I'm careful about it. So make a Tesla this morning, 440.61 for my first purchase, which is kind of off the chart, but not crazy range there because it was down a little bit lower earlier. It was 451 and change. So me being 440.61 for it initially is not super conservative. I mean, it's not super aggressive either, but I'm kind of there. So we'll see what goes on. Want to talk a little bit about our morning stuff and then get into things. We'll just go through every stock that we got here and go from there. Hopefully, we get a little bit of a move. News stocks this morning: Rubrek, RBRK, come to us. Hopefully, it gets there. Here we go. It's on its way there. Anyhow, Rubrek had earnings and trading 85 right now. Okay, so bigger move than normal. Prior range was 228. Trading 85. I always look at prior highs and lows there. So we see the 52-week high is 103. So probably not a threat there. So rubric, I'm 70.71 for it. So we're looking for a pullback back to where it went out. So not quite the whole filling in the whole range, but most of the range there. And sometimes we see those snapbacks. If you remember from the other day, if you remember CrowdStrike from the other day, if you remember Box from the other day, sometimes we see those. So please be aware of those. So, and those are nice when we get those. I love those situations when we actually get them. Okay, so there's kind of key, but we'll see. And as far as shorting it, I'm at 95.70 to short it, and then up a buck from there. So it's off my charts. I have so much there going on, really. So 30 prices long and short on my spreadsheet. So if I'm off there, it's a big move, and it's up 20% already. So it's literally off my sheet. That's how big a mover it is. So we'll see what happens there. It could be a good one. I don't think I've traded it in a while, so it's one I pick up because it's an earnings situation. Ulta Beauty, $500 stock, obviously can be a big mover. They up their numbers, so the stock is up. The stock's trading 574 right now, so up $40 or so. And you look at that, it's like, what do you do with it? I have it 520.30 for it, so a fill in and more than a fill in there, because we'll see what happens. It's down 50 points or so, and then I'm at 612.95 for my first short there. Just to throw out a number, I don't want it to monopolize my life. So I have it out there. If it gets up there, it gets up there. So be it. And I'll be shorting 100 shares at a time. Carefully. DOCU DocuSign. Again, just flipping through these. The initial ones are all new stocks here. Got one more to go. Then we'll get into our core stocks. DOCU, another news situation. Not good news, obviously, since the stock's down a bit. And again, we peak and we see that getting close to the low for the year. So, that alerts me, and I'm actually going to be lower. I'm going to be 59.75 for it. So looking to buy it initially 59.75. Now segment in. Looking for some kind of fill too. I'm at 72.56 there. So if we get a run back up to around here in it, I'll be looking to short it up yonder there. Okay, Victoria's Secret, VSCO. Okay, had some earnings. Stock is looking up, good 15%. About to make a new high, at least in my world. I think it's going to make a new high. 40.32 for it. Again, looking for, just in case I'm there for the potential fill kind of thing. All right, 40.32, which would be more than a fill of that gap. I'm looking 53.41 for my first short, and then up 70 cents, because again, it's an off the charts kind of move for me. Typical range, range yesterday was $1.74, so is that typical, atypical, that kind of thing? I guess we'll find out. Some of these retailers really can be good movers on earnings days, so that kind of gets me a little bit excited. Not a heck of a lot of stocks on our list this morning as far as news and earnings go, but we got 12 minutes here before the opening, so let's go through some of the stocks that I follow all the time. First one being AI, C3 AI. And it's been off. It's been, been hanging in the teens. Obviously been as low as 12 and change. 45 is going back almost exactly a year. And it's one of the AIs that hasn't gotten it going. But again, I like the stock because it's a good bang for your buck stock. And it can have good range. $1.02 from yesterday isn't bad range. I was priced carefully. Went out about middling for the day. I have it as a 101. Quickly, my rating system goes out really strong. Strongest on the high, literally, it's a 0.9. Goes out literally in the middle, it's a 1. goes out literally on the lowest at 1.1. 0.9 to 0.92 is going to be a morning purchase in the relative strength world. 108 to 1.1 is going to be a short. And again, not right there normally, with a little bit of counter move there, and then expecting it to do its thing. Hopefully we get a chance to see some of those today. Yesterday, by the way, was kind of busy. I probably did like 10 trades or so. We had those quantum stocks you'll see later. We have those quantum computing stocks really moving, but moving along because we got 10-minute here. Anyway, I'm 1377, a little bit off the chart there for AI this morning. I'm at 1735, so I treat this with kid gloves, careful about it on purpose. AMD, tick tock. Small range yesterday, $4.98, atypical of AMD as we wait for it to show up here. Went out a little bit into the lower. I have it as a 103 this morning, so slightly to the downside of its range. It's up a bit. I am 281 double par, 20081, 200. I would call double par since par is 100. If you want to impress your friends, looking for a bigger move there. I'm at 237.38 to short it just in case. I want to be smart about it. I don't like getting run over on the short side. It hurts. Tire marks on your personage is not a good thing. Constellation Energy, $16 worth of range yesterday. Not a hell of a lot. Opening close to where it went out. Looking rather like where it went out. I'm going to be 346.65 for it. So that's a little bit off the chart there. At 394.69 to short it. That is more in line with what its normal range is. Charter, which I've been following since they gapped down about 6 months ago on range. Considering we had a communication situation yesterday with Netflix and Discovery and stuff, could be something, but it's not moving pre-market. Went out a little bit to the better side. I'm going with like a more typical range here for it. I had $5 worth of range this morning, rather yesterday. Thinking 188.10 for my initial purchase here at 212.92 to short it. And that would be stretching it a little bit. CoreWeave CRWV, that former star. Okay, up a tad. Looking to purchase at 74.36 at 98.03 to short it. So that's a little more. Yeah, that's like within line with its range. Carvana, which is a mover and a shaker, and a shaker and a mover can really be that kind of thing. All right, here's an example where it went out strong. Looking 398, but I'm 385.35 to purchase it this morning. That's 385.35. That's my initial entry there, and then probably $2 or $3 down from there. That's good till 11. So all these relative strength plays are good till 11 in the morning. Looking for some follow through after an initial whoop-de-doo after it does this thing here, and that would be near the bottom of the range that we see there. I'm at 423.75 to short it. Just saying. So looking there, almost a new high. Intel has been a star. Came in a bit yesterday. Actually wound up buying it late in the day and got out of it kind of fast because I didn't like it. Got out of it for a small profit over here. Bought it like 40.80. Got out of it 40 almost. I want to say almost 41, if I remember right. I didn't make much. I think I made a little less than 20 cents, but I didn't like it. And look, it went out 40.50 and it was getting late there. I wasn't going to get involved. Had I got involved again, it would have been like 40.20 or something like that. Up a little bit. Have it as a short this morning, careful short. I'm at 42.86, so I'm looking to short it initially up here. So thinking that it may get some kind of a run up. And again, that'll be good to 11. I'm 37.11 for my first purchase, so thinking it's going to come in. Stars of the day, we'll do them all at the same time. These quantum stocks. IonQ, because we got 6 minutes left. I want to make sure I cover these at least. So IonQ was actually shorted a few times. going in here, nothing great. Short it twice in the 54s, once in the 55s. So for some profit, I think my 55 was a decent trade because it was I was short at like 55.20, 55.20 something, bought it back 54.60 in the 54.60s. So that was good. Have it as a morning purchase, looking 51.53 for it. So that would be down here where it started to get going. And I'm at 60.04. Seems like we're getting good range back in these guys. That is fun, 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 because they can be fun, fun, fun if we're making money, money, money. Just got to be smart about it. Okay. Uh, next one I follow three of them. Next one is QBTS or D Wave. D Wave, I had one short in yesterday. Don't remember the specs, but it wound up being a small profit and then like less than 50 cents, maybe I think 40 cents or so, but went out strong. So once again, get involved. I think at 25.88, thinking here, which actually is the start of that move from yesterday. Looking at short at 33.47, so looking for another big up move there. If you want to play it that way, play it that way. You know, if you think so, Jim thinks it's going to go up, you want to try it. Give yourself maybe some kind of stop down to here. You know, if you pick it up right away, if I think it's going to 33, hey, give it a go. Rigetti, nothing to do with the former Yankees relief pitcher and Giants pitching coach and that stuff. Yes, I'm dating myself. I'm an old, you know what? Got it. Closing well here, looking 26.81 as a first purchase here. So that'd be down around here. And it just quinkadink here that happens to be right around there. Just looking, you know, it was just, you know, me picking and choosing here, but off of my price list, but 26.81 there at 35.64 to short it. Got a few more to mention, but do want to mention RGC because you guys hopefully get a chuckle out of that. Remember I said, hey, you could buy it, hold it. Taha, you know, it was trading around 13 on Tuesday. When were we? It's Friday, right? So that was Wednesday. You know, if I listen to my own damn words, you know, and did hang on to it or whatever, and I was not in it yesterday, mind you, so I wasn't looking to short it up here either. Did think about it here, didn't do anything. Got up to 18. So yeah, 2 days, you know, you make $5 in 2 days on a $13 stock. That would have been pretty good. I pat myself on the back, but I was not in it. But the thought was there, I said, if you guys are into like, you know, a swing or something like that, because the volume yesterday, by the way, was a lot better than typical. Do we have the volume here? Yeah. Looking at this average volume, 168,000 yesterday, 1.1 million. So that gets my attention. PS, I am 1227 for it this morning, so I'm not a believer. Okay, 1227 is being careful because I know the range, you know, it can make. I mean, look at up 23% yesterday, and that was a good $2 off of the highs for the day. Really care. I'm even surprised. I'm looking to short it. I'm at 25.27, which is way up there. Okay, off my chart, 25.27, and then up $1.50 every short piece there. I think on limit size too. My normal size at like 25 would be around 2,400 shares. If I were to short it, I think I'd be about 1,000 shares at a time. So really regret looking at about 40% of my normal segmented entry size there. So conservative, yes, most definitely. Other two relative strength pieces here to mention on the long side, Sarepta, which has been in as low as 15 or so, and it's back around 22. But again, it can pull in. I'm 1903 for it for my first purchase. It's, you know, looking like right around where it went out, and I'm at a little bit above 27 to short it. Tesla, I mentioned. Getty, I'm seeing if we got any other Pure Storage, PSTG, kind of popped out. Remember, we were talking about buying it the other day, and it was like 70 was a key number. and it was kind of hanging there, between 69 and 70, broke out a little bit. Is this a fake breakout? I don't know, but it went out near its highs. So looking, I'm thinking 68.36. So I'm thinking like down here, maybe get some support down here. But that it has good range on normal days, so you can do that as we're opening here. See, it's opening 71.40. Uh, so think of that, and I'm way the heck up. Where am I? If it breaks out, I think it's going to break out. So I'm at 77.13 to short it. So here we go, and I should mention Bitcoin's trading 90,000. It says down 1,700 for the day. And again, I don't get it. If you guys get it, what's it called now? MicroStrategy is what, MSTR? I think they just call it strategy now because it's not a MicroStrategy now anymore. It's a big ass strategy, but it's coming in a bit with Bitcoin. It had been. I mean, I remember seeing it 150ish yet. So it's a good $25 above its low from what was going on. But obviously, they have a lot of stuff there. And let's start talking about what's happening here as far as the market goes. And I just looking at, I'm just going off my phone because when I'm doing this, I'm going to have to trade off my phone. So good thing I got execution stuff there. Okay, RBRK, which we had mentioned. And waiting on, but it's trading 86 right now. And I had said there was going to be a bit higher to short it. I'm at 91 to short it, so it's going to get interesting. I mean, has been up to 88, so that would get me like throwing orders out there. But considering it's 86 right now, we can wait a little bit on it. 85 and change, almost traded 88. Where were we on the for a new high? No, we're not close. And I said potential there. So see how that goes. Okay, Victoria's Secret's trading 48. Let's go to VSCO. And I'm there again, a bit away. Nothing super exciting as far as stuff goes there. Not seeing huge moves. A lot of times Friday. What are we going to do here on Friday? What are we thinking? What's our mindset? We got Fed meeting coming up. Are they going to run it right into the Fed meeting, thinking we're going to cut? Very possible. Very, very possible. We're going to get a little bit of a fill. That would take a hell of a fill to get me long Victoria's Secret, but maybe we'll get that. But mentality is now, especially after the talk about layoffs and stuff yesterday, is we're going to get some kind of cut when things come out the middle of next week, and then are we going to ho 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 right through Christmas with Santa and some kind of rally? You don't know, But trying to approach things day to day here, and just take what we get. Don't try to push the market. Jim's opinion here. Can't force things. That's why I have things planned. Don't deviate from plan. Recommend you guys come up with your own plan. What works? Tweak it. I'm constantly tweaking here. Okay. Adjusting. Okay. 46.56. Interesting. That's why I love this stuff. We get things going here in the first 10 minutes. Stuff comes in. Making money, fun and good. Not making money, maybe fun, but not quite, definitely not quite as good. Not quite as much fun either. All right. Coming in, seeing that. All right. Anyway, back to having a plan, being smart about it. All right. Kind of key. All right. I see Docu definitely lower there. Okay. Trading 65.20. I'm 59.75 for it. Will it get there? Maybe. Tend to see in these news stocks, tend to see better moves early. I just want to check out VSCO real fast one last time before we get into some of our relative strength plays. And it's not really moving. It's moving down in a retail kind of way, retailer kind of way, not retail, kind of traders kind of way. But that's how it's moving. I see rubric back to 88.16. So Kind of have to keep a little bit of an eye on that. But I do want to go through some of our relative strength plays. And we should maybe take a look at COO because that was another news stock we didn't look at. And we see it's kind of pulling in a bit. Okay. 83. All right, it's been 82.15. So, but then pops up right away. On that had that little tail there. Remember, I'm down yonder. I'm down 79, 79.26. So kind of missed out on that. That first move. We've seen a pop here, but nowhere near where I was at. Okay, going to relative strength world. Morning play is again good till 11 in the morning. Let's look at Carvana. What do we got with Carvana? Nothing yet. All right, nothing yet. Doesn't mean it won't heat up. We got a good hour 25 left here. So plenty can happen. Plenty can happen. Next one, relative strength. Intel looking at short at 42.86. Okay, on its way up here. Okay, getting interesting. So Intel I just put in. I'm gonna make my little list and check it twice here too. So I got something going on. Okay, got Intel in there, 42.86. And I just like having a little cheat sheet here too. All right, and from there, we get that. I like to segment in, so gonna have some other spots where I would want to get involved in Intel if it does in fact go a bit higher. Almost got to 42, and it's been strong. They're talking about doing some deals with I don't know if you guys remember whom at that point, but recently made new highs. So interesting. Ion Q coming in a bit, still a good buck and a half away. I'm 51.53 first purchase there, but getting kind of interesting. I did want to see what MDB was doing. Only a couple of days off of the earnings that came out. I think they came out on Monday. All right, below 400. I'm thinking $20 lower, which is definitely feasible with a almost $400 stock there. Novavax, one of the vax stocks that has really come off since the world we're in, which I hope we're never in that world again. P.S. I'm sure everyone does. Uh, Qualified as a relative strength play on the buy side because it went out a penny off the highs. I am way the heck down in case it actually does move. I'm like 624, so $6.20. So that's a good ways away. Considering that 14 cents worth of range. Why am I following it? Because I follow Biontech and Moderna as well. So that's why I'm there. We should see what Nvidia is doing because Nvidia, I actually do have it priced out this morning. And here we go. And we're not seeing a hell of a lot here. I am 170.52 as a first purchase there. So off the chart down below 12, it's almost $13 away there. Looking to short at 191.71 because that's up a bit. And that reminds me of where it spent a lot of time a couple weeks ago, right after its earnings, in the low 190s. Okay, so I think there's some resistance there. If it in fact gets there, you know what? We will see. Okay. I also have Oracle as a purchase this morning. So you can see what's happening there. And again, it's come way off from, when they announced deals in September. It was way the heck up, 345 and change. And I think I said to you guys the other day, I was short in the 330s and 340s that day and did okay, and that's in, that it had gapped up from 250 and got down to that gap, after that fill did not support it because here we are, in the low 200s. Stock is up. I said 211.25 to purchase it. And that looks like, a pretty good support stuff into this, some of the consolidation play that it had going on over here. Okay. Notice I like a clean chart. Okay. I want to be able to see stuff. All right. Bells and whistles can be a very good thing. They're just not a very good thing for me. All right. Again, if it works for you, go with by all means. Don't want to tell you what to do. Just telling you what I do. All right. So too many bells and whistles are not good. I used to have moving averages on here. I don't want that. I want to be able to draw my own conclusions, right or wrong. Plus, I'm not, this person here is not a rocket scientist, doesn't even play one on TV. So keeping it simple because I'm stupid. KIS, because I'm, you know what? Anyway, so trying to have some humility or whatever. I don't know. Path, which was is it UPath? It's close to it. Moving up was shorted in here yesterday. If you twice short at low 1810, short it up around 1850. Yeah, just above 1850. A couple of small profits, and here we go. We're going up, make a new high. I think it did. Yeah, just making a new high for the year. Uh, had as a relative strength play. I was thinking 1682. I would think it was going to give it up. Nope, not looking like it. Getting going from the start, although a little pull in right there. Okay, at 2087. So not really looking to short it aggressively here, in spite of the fact that it's making a new high over to Pure Storage PSTG, which I have as relative strength play. Okay, 71.15. Okay, so coming in, $2 away. This stock moves pretty fast for a stock in 60s and 70s. Moved a little bit more one of these 80s, but mover. Remember, 2 days ago was off lots, got as low as like 68 and change. On that earnings day 2 days ago. Bear that in mind. Let's look at the main markets again. So that's most of my stuff there. Docu holding. Rigetti coming in. RGC 1540. RGC. Let's take a look at it. I want to take a look at the going on, hanging here, pretty much where it opened. The big V word here. Big V word. We're not getting that volume right now, so not good. Versus yesterday where we had the volume going. Obviously, there was some kind of buyer doing stuff. Thin stock, they did their thing. Once they finished, what happened? Came in. Maybe they came back with a second round, got to there, consolidated across here. Curious volume down here, right? Bigger volume, bigger volume, bigger volume, bigger volume. Buyer's done. Poof, right? Back to the norm. So that definitely says a lot about that. Alongside here, rubric VSCO. Let's go to Ulta. All right, so hanging up there. I'm getting way the heck away, but do we see it build a base and try to do something on the long side? And is it worth it? I mean, if I'm playing at 100 shares at a time, as it is, if I go quarter size and go in 25 shares, hey, you know what? Maybe in the name of exercise and doing it, maybe I do. But let's get some more info here. Let's see what happens first. And maybe I should be thinking 580-ish or something. I don't know. As of course I say this starts to come in, but it's got such a fill to do. Let's see how it plays out. We can be careful about it. We can be smart about it. The other leaders here that we're moving up. Let's go to this Cooper guy again. companies, yeah, Cooper companies. And remember, I'm down here. I'm 79, middling, very very middling here. Uh, I think my short was going to be up around 95 or so. Flip into it right now. Just off my phone. Yeah, 95, and then up a buck from there. So I'm not going to make a bad pun about some. I think it's a Bob Dylan song. Clowns left the mediocre to the right. No, no, that's not. No, it was somebody else. I think it was a one hit wonder. Anyway, again, dating myself. DocuSign. Another guy is pretty much stuck. He now has been down in the 63s. Not doing a hell of a lot yet. Overall market, we're up. I couldn't tell you where. Bitcoin's still around 90s. We're up a tad. Are they going to run it later? I don't know. We're going to run it into the weekend. Tune in later. If I'm even going to be around for it later, don't know. I may trade just this morning. I don't know. We'll see. Let's look at some of our stocks here because we don't have any tremendous movers, but see if we can find some situations. Okay, got AI, kind of interesting, kind of where it went out. Did a lot of consolidation move here. Looked like it was going to break under. Again, I'm playing it wide, but I'm just going to, maybe a trade. Is it going to push through these levels? And should we play it pushing through? Excuse me. Could be a sip of water. Could be a move to play. Would definitely take some nudging on my own part. For all you braver than me, maybe you play the breakout here. If that's your thing, it's not my thing. I'm trying to incorporate more stuff going, going with breakouts and stuff. Thinking about it, maybe just a tune in thing and just keep track of what's going on here. All right, AMD, what do we got? Are we going to get some movement here? We got a lot of back and forth without enough going on, but let's segue because I want to see Intel as one of my relative strength plays. So let's see Intel right now. Come on, Intel, show us up. Okay, getting there. All right, I'm out there. I'm at 42.86. It's traded a little over 42. All right, it can get there. If it doesn't get there slowly, because it moved down slowly, if it gets there, I'd like to see a pop. Pop like that, like a 50-cent pop. From like the 42.30s up to the 42.80s, and then have it come in. I'll say thank you very much, and get out of at least half of it, and then see. Me put in a mental stop kind of thing, and get out of it. And as in, I don't want to get my profit. I don't like fixed stops, but have something in mind and do something, as in just preserve, especially if get out of part of something profitably, and then just eyeball it, see what's going on. Let's look at Micron and then Oracle. Micron, obviously been a monster since about September. That little move got us back toward flat. Been 230, decent range. I mean, $8 worth of range. Not killer for Micron, but good, for the first 20 minutes of the day. So that has my attention. Skipping to Oracle. Oracle was moving up last we saw. Am I going to get a trade? I might get some trades this morning. That'd be nice. I mean, it hasn't been too bad a week. Yesterday was a good day. I can't complain. So if today is kind of quiet, we'll see. Oracle giving it up a bit since where it opened this morning, because we went like that. Holding those levels, holding above levels from yesterday. Again, I want it down in here for this morning. And then later in the day, I don't know. Later in the day, it'd probably be, if I'm 211, because it can do things. I'd probably be way the heck down. I'd probably be like 202 or something like that for the whole day as far as getting long. Okay, let's go to path, and then we'll flip back to my C stocks. Okay, path 1831. Okay, so made that new high, pulling in, pulling in, pulling in. All right, there we go. There, somebody just made some money. I heard the register ring. That sounds like a good thing. Woohoo! Wasn't me. Sorry, guys. Nothing there yet. Okay, let's look at our exciting big four in the seas. Constellation Energy. All right, coming in. Here we go. All right, coming in, coming in. Put on 346.65 for it, but hey, feasible, not much range yet. So, seeing a move. Core Weave, that former All Star that came off, hasn't been quite the same since the insiders were able to get out. Off a little, not really not good range for it on the day. I'm thinking 74 to purchase, 74 and change to purchase at 98 or so to short it. Charter doing anything now off of this discovery stuff? Want to you want to aha, 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 aha. Okay, okay, Charter. My first short in, and then look it up. Wow. Okay. Hmm. Definitely a hmm. All right, got it in there. Okay, got a short out there. 212.92. All right, 212. Okay, so handy reference there. 212.92. Dum dum. All right, so we're $8 away, but I want to have something there. Now I want to look up. I want to see where I'm at here in chart. I'm just going off my sheets here. All right, and you know what? It's like a shame on me because even though it wasn't doing anything, it would have been a smart move to seize the darn day this morning when it was like flat, knowing that discovery stuff happened and could get moves. Well, okay, here we go. All right, you know, woulda, shoulda, coulda, didn't. I just want to go to something else for a second, just so I can get a chart back here. But yeah, semi annoyed with myself for not giving this a go this morning. In the first 5 minutes when it was flat, because it could have been a contender. So said Mr. Brando. All right, if we're gonna play the reversion side, I had 300 shares out there short at 212.92. And it goes, if it keeps going, I'll have to reassess. Uh, then I'm going to be careful, is what I'm going to be. I'm going to be careful. I'm going to be 215.48 and 218.05. All right. I'm not in yet, but I just want to have a reference. 215.48, 218.05. So I'm going to space it out. It's only 300 shares at a time. I'm going to be good $2 or so in width, but it's kind of on its way here. And I'm remiss I didn't pick it up 199 because we want to make connections, guys. We really want to make connections, and I'm just a Dumas this morning because look at this consolidation while stuff's going on. It's like they're waiting for the news. News is out, but I don't know. Maybe it messed me up because it didn't gap. Did I mention that? I was like, didn't move. and could have had it below double par there. Was looking right around there. And here we go. All right, so I'm playing the flip side. If it pulls back, maybe I'll look to do 100 shares at a time on the long side. But I want to pull back first. Okay. All right. I would not get in here. If that's your thing, more power to. Can I say? All right. All right. Let's look at some of our quantum stocks. See if we're getting what we want to get long. IonQ still hanging there. Has been below 53. I'm a good ways away. Okay, D-Wave. Hop on D-Wave and ride it. Catch a D-Wave and you're sitting on top of the world. Could well be. All right, 27.89 still away. Where am I? $2 away. So not close to hopping on D-Wave. Rigetti, probably similar. Yesterday we had IonQ moving up. Got short QBTS later. Probably should have looked to pick those guys up. Differing, but I had a kind of a full plate then, so was careful. I want to look at a couple of my solar stocks. Yeah, I meant to say Rigetti away. Sunrun. Not exactly happening this morning. My other big one that I'm following today. I'm not following Enphase or First Solar today because of poor range. And then these things are cyclical because we had this stuff in the quantum computing stocks where range was just crapperoo as they came in. And now I guess we have that solar edge we got. I guess you should take a look at Sarepta and Tesla because haven't looked that way in a while. I got nothing in there yet, so to talk, dude. All right, 3160 and Sarepta, 46 and Sarepta, Tesla, anything, McFly. All right, looking at Tesla's going to make me want to take a look. Rivian too. So we got Tesla going up a little bit. So much for looking down this morning. It was looking down a bit lower. It was looking 451, and we're not. We got $6 worth of range. Not exactly thrilling. Looking at Rivian. Rivian movers. They can be good bang for your buck stocks, and you can do decent size. You get good moves, but nothing awesome today. I guess we should look at RGC and see if that volume picked up. And yeah, we got stock above 16, but not volume wise, not a lot. Not even 100,000 shares worth of volume yet. So I'm not really enthralled there. Enthralled and thrilled, whatever the word may be. Our news stocks, without flipping to them, not a lot going on except maybe COO moving in a little bit. Could get interesting. I mean, it could start to. Remember, I'm 79 something there. Okay, Doc, you're not doing enough there for me. Okay, getting interesting here. Pure storage. Hanging on. Pure storage. Okay, here we go. All right, back into this stuff here. Back into this consolidation, support, resistance. What is it going to be today? It's going to be support. It's going to be resistance. Should we consider this a false breakout now? Could well be. All right, head fake, juke, whatever you want to call it. Gonna have to get in the game here. Give me half a second to get in. Okay, 68.36. Okay, all right, got it. Bugger, get back there. Hit send. Okay, so make a little mark there.
Are you done?
Pure storage.
Huh?
68.36. Okay, looking for about 900 shares. There's still about a buck and a half away. So going from there, we'll see. We're 10 o'clock. We still got an hour to go here. So lots of opportunity, lots of chance here. So again, I like this stock because it can move. Where are we at? Okay, we see 34.51 there. 68.30's PS. Going back to yesterday, recent lows off of that rugged earnings situation. So feasible. Yep. Not looking at lower stuff yet, but we'll see. I should take a look at Intel and then go back to Charter. Okay, Intel, here we go. All right, here we go. All right, 60 cent. Get me up there and then come in. Should I break out my pom poms and start cheering? I know. I'm sorry, guys. Just looking for a trade. The one thing I can tell you, initial trades, I like to get some money in the account, get on board, get something going on. So a little bit quicker to grab stuff initially to get the day started, get the day rolling. And we're 10 o'clock here and miss the quickest moves of the day. And let's see where we are. Charted, babes. Okay, now, all right, here we go. We're starting to see some consolidation here. Okay, I get that I'm higher. I'm $6 higher for my first short. I didn't quite touch 207, got 207-ish here. All right, I'm close to damn near 230. I'm at 212.92, so damn near 213. Not enough consolidation yet. Would I go for it here? Nah. Would I go for it here? Could well be, and it's not the worst spot. And you got an out in here, or maybe you got an add in here. If I'm buying 100 shares at a time, I could see doing the 203 thing, and then doing the 201 thing, and doing the 199 and change thing, and then having to, so then I got about an average price of about 201. So give it like $2, give it like at least 1% there, but we ain't there yet. So just food for thought. And I think, if it in fact does that, I think I will, depending on what happens. Or I might wind up short at 212, almost 213 and higher. We'll see. We'll see. But at least that gets interesting and it's new. Again, I'm trying to branch out here, doing more of that stuff. I did that. I told you I did that stuff in RGC the other day on Tuesday. And it did not have a big. I made some money on a day that those RGC trades were my only trades. So, and again, yesterday was good, so I'm not feeling bad about that. What did I do? Oh, I did that box. Remember, we did that box thing on Wednesday. Was talking about it. Got rid of it after today, and it was still kind of hanging. It was hanging a little bit lower yesterday. Got out of the end of my box. Made some money in box on both my shorts there on that earnings day, and 80 cents worth of range. I got rid of it. I kept it yesterday and got rid of it. Not following it anymore. So I just followed it for a couple of days. Got rid of box. So it goes. I think I follow a decent amount of stocks, and I'm not following all the stocks I typically follow today because of lack of range. So not feeling really bad about that. Bitcoin 91, market in general, up 0.5% now. So not moving, rolling, rawhide, yada yada. Going back to our news stocks, which are not huge stocks today. I see some Fed stuff out there. Fed news on inflation. Maybe that's getting the market popping a bit here because I said Dow's up 255. All right. Nope. RBRK going up a bit. Not worth really looking at yet. Victoria's Secret, nope. Ulta. Let's look at Ulta for a sec. I said 580, maybe. Got a little bit more data now, and we see a little bit of an uptrend here in the five. I always look at 5 minutes. A little bit of an uptrend in the 5 minute. All right, so we got that. I wanted to see more. I wanted to see more stuff here. Maybe what did I say? I said maybe I do 25 shares in this, 580ish kind of thing. And then it's not materializing, but realistically here, I would not look to be a superhero and say, yeah, I'm gonna do big bucks here. I'd be like 25 there, 25 there, 25 there, 25 there. If that, and that would be a huge range, 30 points worth of range to have an average price of whatever the heck it would be there, doing math. So somewhere in the middle, 565 average price for 100 shares. And a lot of exposure. I mean, 15 points worth of exposure there on that at that point. So $1,500, scary. So, I don't think I'd do it like that, to be honest. Probably have to get out of like a 25. Maybe have 5 point. Allow myself 5 points per situation or something like that. That would be more my style, I think, as far as that goes. Anyway, though, it's a non-factor. Let's revisit charter here because I'm liking this more. I'm liking this more if in fact it starts to do what we said it would do, and not exactly cooperating, but to re-hit what I said, I went 203, 201, 199 there for three longs there of 100 shares apiece. Do whatever you're comfortable there with. If you want to do one share at a time, do one share at a time, or don't do anything. Play the game. You can't. You got to be in to win it. And they're not just talking about lotto in this case or whatever. Yes, ex New York or still in New York or whatever. Mainly Vermont. I'm still in Brooklyn, glad because it's cold, whatever, in Vermont today. All right, that's charter. We've seen what's going on there. Let's look at Intel. And Intel again is getting interesting. Okay, I see it fit 42.54. And it's been higher. Okay, now we run across this. Bad news for Jim. Okay, because it's been 42.81. Guess what? When it gets up near there, doesn't quite get there. My mindset is gets up here again, it's going higher. Okay, so I just had to cancel my offer at 42.86. Okay, bummer there because it was a pretty good call. Okay, and it was enough of a pullback here that affected it that made me want to cancel it. And this stage, even if I'm wrong and it does come off there, it is what it is because many times I've seen things go through, and especially when this bugger gets going. I mean, all right, where do I want to be here? Got like an hour here for these morning shorts. I'm going to think. Just going through my stuff here, guys. Before I throw out another short. Want to be that? 43.41. Okay. Just put in 43.41. And I got in my back pocket, not in yet, 43.95. Okay. So looking at the thing in Intel, so I canceled my offer at 42.86 because it almost got there, but not quite. And it wasn't a big move down, but you know what? Considering what I've done today, I would have tried to pick up a big profit. And here we go. It's just getting back up there again. So it was a brief thing. Sometimes I want to give it time, but at this point today, I was changing my mind on a dime because it has been so strong, and because I wanted my cha-ching bell to go off there. I heard somebody's before, but I wanted something to go off. I wanted to make some money. One of these trades this morning. At this point, because we're 40 minutes in, and I don't have lots and lots going on. Should we be thinking about Intel on some kind of pullback? Do we have support there? Maybe, but it's gone up so quickly. It gave it up yesterday to the point where I was long. I was long at 40.80 briefly, and like I said, what I said, I made like 19 cents. So here it is trading. Okay, now we'll see for real. Is it trade? Was I wrong in canceling? So fast. It's almost gotten there. Still 3 cents away. So give or take. I don't know, but let's go back to Charter. And then we'll revisit some of this other stuff that we haven't seen in a while. All right, Charter. Here we go. All right, interesting. All right, Charter. 203, 201. All right, put in the 203. $3 away. All right, I'm gonna want to be 201, 189. All right, all right. Okay, let's see what we get in Charter. It's worth, you know what? Nothing more than an educated guess kind of situation. I'm giving it, you know, one and giving it. Had that run up. Let's see what happens there. Okay, so I'm 203 for it right now, for a third of my normal size per segment, and we'll see what happens. You know, so much for the lofty 213s immediate. I was getting a little psyched here. I like seeing this stuff go up like this. I wanted to see more. That if we've seen, you know, this kind of move and this kind of move again, you know, I start to feel really good about getting short, at that high 212 number. Okay. Because we're moving up so fast that it's due to come in. If it's moving up slow, 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 not quite as good. Doesn't mean it won't work out, but not quite as good. Okay, Pure Storage, bummer. All right. Low 69.51, getting back into this consolidation thing. We had that false breakout at the end of the day. I wonder that was it a late buyer or what the heck was that? Or maybe that was somebody who thought they were getting a bargain, who didn't participate in the Wednesday dump. I didn't pick up some stock then and wanted to get some more stock, so they paid up end of the day to buy some stock. These things happen, so aware of it. We'll see. Our news stock's not doing a heck of a lot. Intel pulling in a bit, still wouldn't gotten it. So it's kind of a moot point now as it pulls in a bit, but still strong. And again, I'm up 43.40, just above 43.40 to short it. Again, just for this morning, going to have to rethink. After 11 o'clock, going to have to rethink where I want to be there. So again, these relative strength things are just good to 11 o'clock or so, because looking for some kind of a follow through. And after that, we're getting into lunch, and it's not quite the same thing. And again, that's my take. I used to do 11:30, but it didn't make as much sense after that. All right, let's look at Carvana, which I was thinking 385 change for this morning, and we have it going up slowly. So it's been as high as 408. I'm at 423.75 to short it for a short, I should say, for the entire day. So that could very well come into play later on. So want to be aware there. I know we just looked at Intel, but do have his morning short. So let's look again. And we got it 42.63. And again, had I gotten it short here, I would have taken a quick profit. I really just to have something on board. Okay, just the way I roll with these things to get the day started. Okay, on Q. Let's look at our three quantum stocks at the same time. On Q. All right, it has been 52.70. Still kind of interesting. A lot can happen. We got another 45-minute here. So all is not lost as far as that goes. QBTS. All right, not quite as awesome. Okay, I'm $2 away there. I think I'm about the same Rigetti. Oops, fat finger. TikTok, dude. TikTok Rigetti. Yeah, $2 away. So totally irrelevant. Ion Q could be interesting. Novavax. Why am I wasting my time? I don't know. And realistically, here, what do we look for in a stock that doesn't move this much? All right, so our stock, I'm looking at picking up 10,000 shares at a time. So we're not looking for a tremendous move. If I can make 20 cents in that situation, I'll be doing backflips. Figuratively, my days of doing backflips are long gone. Anyway, but lessen your expectations when you're dealing with a single digit stock. And even like look to get out of some. You start to make profit, get out of some, and then worst case, you get up some, put a mental stop in at break even or something like that. If that's the case, if it does in fact go your way. Any hope in Oracle? If I can get it right. So yeah, this pullback back to flat, and then it took off. You know, was looking okay. It was looking like it was going to come in and work out, but no, not definitely not looking great right now. Again, I think that some of that data affected things because the Nasdaq up a little bit. Let that go on. Nothing with Bitcoin really, but that inflation data maybe affected things. Watching Oracle go higher. UiPath. All right, so I made a new high, but not. It's not going to be something I'm going to follow after today. Followed it yesterday specifically because it was an earnings situation and was also relative strength play for me this morning, but not enough movement that I would typically follow it. Pure Storage was back into that range. What do we got? Yeah, still range bound, that kind of thing. In one sec. Runny nose. Sorry, guys. A bit better. Okay, we mentioned the quantum stocks there. Sarepta's a morning long. And this is, to touch upon this is tedious part about being a trader, check, recheck, check again, be aware. Look at things moving, look at things moving in the middle, look at things that are reversing. All right. Notice these things. Start following the same stocks. All right. Have some stocks. I have a bunch that I follow. Doesn't mean you have to follow a lot of stuff. Follow five, follow 10, follow three. Get to know them inside and out. All right. Develop something, develop your own style. Sarepta not quite doing it. Tesla, we saw it. Range kind of was sitting there coming across. Do I want to do anything? Nope. Want to do anything down here? Maybe. I'd said 440 this morning. I know it can move, so not looking at it. Anything else that I was rather following this morning that I'll check out? Nvidia, if I can get it right. Much going on there. Waiting. All right, so we got Nvidia 182, $3.50 worth of range. Most of that within the first 15 minutes. When it came in, like I said, it's way the heck away. Not a lot going on there. MGB, taking a look. And again, guys, hasn't come to us, but okay, MGB back over 400. Okay, been as high, been almost 408. Had an MDB kind of move. Last time we checked it out, we were down here. And it's fun. Notice switches here. This is why we look at this stuff. All right. I want to see some kind of overdone run where I can get short at 422.28 and have it come in. Be nice if it came in to like 415 or something like that. That would be like a target there for me, or initial target. So as long as you guys are aware of that, we get moves and stuff, and we should be checking them out. Let's look at AMD and AI before we go back to our other guys. And this is the way things go, guys. Yesterday morning was active and busy, like I said, probably like 10 or 12 trades, 10 or 12 round trips, in the morning and a little bit in the afternoon. Not quite as much today, so not as happening. That's what we deal with, you know. And it's part of this is my plan. I'm sticking with my plan. This is where we're going. Maybe I'll have a good lunch. We'll see. Uh, AI, all right, AI is coming in. Traded 15. Yeah, we're getting continuation here because it sagged late. All right, coming in. Came below there. That could have been a spot. If it did more stuff there, you know, potential purchase. Maybe this is a fake out. I mean, it's been below there. Let's see. Maybe it holds here. Is it worthwhile doing anything? I don't know. AI's rugged. I prefer to price it out a bit more, but has its days. It definitely has, interesting days there. Okay, RBRK getting a little bit interesting. Making a slow move though. Okay, so like I said, slow move not as good. Well, this was good, but it's slowing up here. Okay, I'm at 91.15, so I'm gonna have to get this in. All right. Okay, make a little note here. All right, so it starts to get interesting because made a little move here, and then didn't get there. It would have been more satisfying to have something here. It also happened pretty fast. Okay, it happened too fast for me. All right, so if it had gotten here, then it would have been too early. All right, I'm at 91.15 to short it. It got to 90.15. It's going a little bit higher, but makes this move here. Odds are I'm going to miss out unless it continues higher. So that's just reality. So we deal with that, and it is what it is. Okay, creeping up now. Okay, worthwhile. Was in here. Wasn't worth it. Got my short out there at 91.15. Then I'm going to look to short it up every 80 cents because it's an off the chart kind of move. So we'll see how that goes. And that's good. I mean, this is a earnings play, so it's good for the entire day. And looking at the range here, we got $6 worth of range right now, and this is different earnings day. You got to extend what's going on. We're already at triple our range from yesterday, and hopefully it's a little bit more. Hopefully it's like another buck or so more. So I get short. It decides to pull in, but expect more. Expect broaden your horizons on earnings days or news days. Then what you have is an understanding of typical range for a stock because it's going to move more. Be ready for it. Okay, don't get run over either way. Be smart about it. Okay, can work out very well or not. Okay, I'm going to get annoyed here with Intel because, oh well. But like I said, I would have taken, even if I gotten short, which I did not, I would have taken profit, at least some profit. 42.60 or so. I would have probably taken the whole thing. Who am I kidding? Just to get something going on here. So Intel pulled in, and that is kind of what we wanted, but it was a slower move. But Intel does that. Remember I said I wanted a kind of move like that. Basically got that, but I wanted it for more there. This one got up to what 42.65, so that wasn't quite it anyway. All right, but it pulled in. Do we want to look at it as a long later? Maybe down here. I know that's tough for me considering I had it as a long yesterday. I got long it yesterday at 40.80, but it's a different day, so maybe. Let's go back to charter and see. Now again, we're 203 for 100 shares, so we are me, you, the whole gang's all here kind of thing. All right, for 100 shares, and it's getting back up near its highs, but it's going slower now. Back to 207. All right, just noticing, the change here. I mean, thought I was looking better when it pulled in, mid 205s. I thought, had a chance. And again, this is me for the day. It's doing work. See if it continues to do work here. Comes off a bit. Pick it up. File it under. We'll see. And I'm just looking. I'm sorry. Just give me a sec while I look through these guys. Let's look at RGC again because I just want to see if it's done anything. And it's not. And the volume's not there today. The volume's more back where it's typical volume for the day, so we get a little bit more volume. It's we're at an hour into the day and we're at its average volume, so I guess that's not bad, but it's not yesterday's volume, so not as good. Even look at some of the guys that I am not following this morning, so flipping through. I want to go back and visit IonQ. And my issue here is going to be that running out of time for the morning play. I'm down to a half hour for the morning play, but it's still valid. I mean, it's a full half hour. It's not like I'm going to say at 10:45, nope, not going to do it. Going to punt. Or if you're somebody on the Giants, you're going to try to kick the ball. Eek. Yeah, but I'm good. Good buck 40 away. Let's look at QBTS. And again, guys, nothing earth shattering here this morning. Okay, but that's part of the deal. That's part of our game. All right. This is, probably the greatest job in the world. All right. But there's time you got to put in, there's stuff you got to do. All right. A lot of times I equate things like, game plan. I equate it to game plan in a, football game or something like that. This is your game plan. You're going to stick with it. What happens if you're bad in your game plan? In a game, you're probably screwed. So here, if we just make stuff up, we're probably screwed. All right. But we add things. We see things. We can add things too, i.e., the charter situation. Okay. Or if we go all the way back to Alta, because we should see what Alta's doing. And it's heading up. All right. So again, my 580 thoughts, brave as they've been, not really happening, but I better start paying attention to the short side. Okay. All right. I'm at 612.95 to short Alta, been as high as 609. And that was a new high. So that's significant to me too. So mentally, a new high is could be some kind of resistance, but stock is up $73 on the day. All right. All right. So putting in Alta, 612.95, 100 shares. Okay. Because I'm a big swinger here, guys. Okay. Just like my easy reference here. All right. And so even though it's $5 away, oof, my sheet. All right. So we got Alta $5 away, but it's not that big a move when we're talking about a $600 stock. All right. I got to consider my next stop, my next spots here. Okay. Got it. All right. I'm just doing this for easy reference. I'm not putting in another order yet, but easy reference. Where's that bugger? Just had it. Easy reference for me. All right. So we're up to 608. Definitely getting interesting. Okay. As this market is, getting up 0.5%. Nothing huge. So if they run stuff, they run stuff late. All right. So my next spot. So I said 612.95. That's in. Next would be 619.92. Next 626.88. And then do I hang on to my initial short if we're up at 619.92? My inclination is going to be yes. All right, because I'm going to try to give it more latitude, not much more. But if I get short the next piece and it continues higher, I'm going to have to rethink some of this stuff. And it depends on how fast it happens too. A lot of times we get a sideways thing, and we can go either way. But more often than not, we get we had the sideways thing going on, and instead of reversing here, what do we get? We get a surge higher. So beware of that. And I should look at RBRK. rolling. Okay, so not what I really wanted to see here. I wanted to see a push up higher. Like I said, I'm at 91.15, and I wanted to see a push up there. Okay, because we don't have a lot of situations, that are really really happening right now. So ones that I'm watching, I want to see, I want to see them be effective. But again, we can't make it happen. Just got to be patient and deal with what we're given and move from there. But yeah, that's a bummer. Anything, any switch in intel here? Coming in, came in fair amount. Definitely came in a fair amount. But like I said, I would not have been here. So I got to have to be honest with myself. All right, would have looked to take a fast profit just to get in the game. Okay, because I know myself. I know how that goes. So looking at it here, I was looking more to see what had done if we'd seen some kind of reversal there. Okay, as I see RBRK coming in, darn it. Alta's still 607 and change. That may be the best, most viable situation as the day goes on. Okay, RGC up to 1688, but I'm not there. I forget what I even said in RGC this morning. Did I say 13? Oh, even lower than that. Holy cow, $4 away in RGC. Was feasible this morning when it was trading around $15, but not now. I'm liking that it's pepping up though. I'm definitely liking that. Even though the short side scares the heck out of me. Beyond scares the heck out of me. So that's the way that should go. But liking seeing some kind of move there. And again, if you're buy and hold kind of person, you could wake up and see it at 11. You could wake up and see it at 25. I mean, yesterday had that intraday move of $5. Phew. Wow. Yikes. Zounds. All that stuff. Let's go back and visit our quantum stocks. At least one. I want to see this one because it's the only one that's interesting. Doesn't mean these guys won't get more interesting as the day progresses. All right, that's not the volume there has not the volume, the range there rather is not the same as yesterday. Yesterday we had great range here. Back to range, great range again. And I was loving it. I was loving $6 worth of range, $7 worth of range yesterday. Okay, which is outstanding in a stock in the high. It was started the day in the high 40s. Okay, and I played it short side. I played it in Jim Green reversion mode, and it worked out. Three winning trades. Nothing huge. Caught it. Got it in here. Caught some fairly decent pullbacks. That's why I like these quantum guys. At least these three. Okay, so we're talking IONQ, QBTS, and RGTI. Not only make when they're ranging when they're ranging big, not only make those moves, but they reverse nicely too. They reverse within trend. I mean counter trend. They do this. They come in. Thinking of yesterday specifically, where I was like shorted at 55, 55.20 out around here because it wasn't this late, and bought it back 54.60 I think, low 54.60s. I mean I'm not remembering specifically, but you can get nice trades there. You can scalp some nice trades there. Recommend them. Do you have to be careful? Of course, but definitely some good stuff there. Definitely some good stuff. While I have a chance to chime in, any questions, anytime. I'm not going to say call 1-800 Jim, but I'm going to say, if you want to email me and talk about, ask me a specific question or something like that, the email is jgre910 at gmail.com. Okay, so that's jgre910 at gmail.com. As we're watching IONQ coming in, let's look at QBTS. Okay, down on the lows, not there, not as big a move. And Rigetti, these things I'll keep my eye on as the day progresses. I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay in the game this afternoon, but could see some things. All right, back to RBRK, which was coming off. All right, I see RFK Jr. panel. So, is that going to impact any of these buggers? Look at that move back in rubric. So, kind of move I want to see, just wasn't in the game. All right, kind of move here. If it had happened, too much, too fast for me, would have missed out. But immaterial because didn't get there. This kind of move, that's the kind of thing we're looking for. Okay, let's go to Ulta because Ulta's getting interesting. And I want to visit the VAX stocks. Okay, we're getting there. Getting there. You know, I've been as close as $3 away. Feasible, that can have some stuff going on here. All right, and I want, again, it's a matter of getting there and then working out. So, see what happens. Tune in, stick in, keep watching it, guys. Keep watching what's going on because we're getting low here. We got 18 minutes or so left in our morning session. COO is not really doing it. Intel's down lower. Taking a look at Charter. And then I want to look at those VAX stocks. I meant to look at them sooner. Sorry. All right, Charter popping a little bit higher. Nothing super exciting. It could be. Charter's a slow go kind of stock, usually. New high on the day. Fairly decent recent high. We'll see. Quick glass of water for me. All right, let's look at those VAX stocks then. Let's look at Biontechs. The three that I follow, I should say. I don't follow like the Pfizer guys. All right, I see nothing going on there. Novavax I had as a morning long. And we got less than nothing going on there. Moderna. Yeah, Moderna is another one that's really crap. Between Moderna and Novavax, definitely not seeing, what we used to see on occasion. We're seeing it Moderna. Biontechs can still be interesting, can still be a mover. Look at Pfizer. They tend to group Pfizer in with these guys, even though Pfizer's like watching paint dry sometimes. Again, Pfizer went up on that news, but 20 cents. Excuse me. So nothing super exciting there. Okay, and as Alta, we might get short Alta sooner than later. Okay, as it gets up there. So getting close there. So that's good. That's good. Kind of wish we're seeing some bigger 5-minute candles here. The last big 5 minute candle was how many here? Was eight. Okay, this guy is six. All right, so that's not a bad one. Okay, I get like a 5 or 6 candle coming in, and that would make me happy there. All right, to pick up a little bit, make like $5 or so, or more. More than that. Obviously, more than that would be better, but to make that, on a 100 shares there, that'd be nice. All right. And again, I can't stress enough not overdoing it. Especially in an earnings situation or news situation in this case, rather because they up their numbers. Okay, and again, you've seen a new high by a decent amount, and actually the range isn't bad today. I mean, $36 worth of range is not bad at all. So that's pretty good. So we'll see where we go from there. Docu's done nothing. QBTS is getting a little bit interesting. And again, these guys are not, they're not going to happen for me as morning trades, but as the day goes on, maybe we'll see some kind of stuff here. Okay. So we got that little tail going on there. All right, INQ. Okay, exactly similar little tail thingy going on there. Okay, and it got, I mean, running out of time, but it was getting closer there. I mean, it got within 60 cents or so. Bouncing off it though now, Rigetti. Waiting on it. All right, not quite the same, and still, still a good $1.75 or so off. And we got TikTok. We're running out of time here for the morning stuff.